Oh, hi. I'm here to review a film, but I'm not in my usual parking spot. I mean, I am in my usual parking spot because I'm actually on my drive outside my house. And the reason I didn't do this in the cinema car park, as is usually my way, is because I took a friend to the cinema this evening and I had to drop her off. So here I am on my drive to talk to you about Dear Evan Hansen. This is a multi-award winning Broadway show that has been adapted for the screen, and I haven't seen the musical on stage, so this was my first experience of it, and I knew very little about it. I'd seen the trailer, thought, oh look, people bursting into song, that's a bit of me, got myself a ticket. So me and Naomi went to see it tonight. In summary, it is the story of Evan Hansen, who is a very lonely and awkward, I was going to say young man, we'll get to that in a minute, but he's at high school. He's obviously quite lonely, he's awkward, he's obviously got quite poor mental health, he's on a lot of medication, there's talk of therapy and so on, and he's going back to school in September, first day back, and he's been told by his therapist to write himself these letters, these sort of letters of encouragement. Dear Evan Hansen, today is going to be a good day and here's why. And on his first day back at school, he doesn't have the best day, and he writes the letter, deletes the letter that he's written, rewrites it, and says, Dear Evan Hansen, basically just says, I wish things were different, I wish people could see me, I wish I felt like I existed. Love from your best friend, me. And he prints it. It gets taken from the printer by an even more troubled student called Connor, and within a few days of the letter being taken, Connor has taken his own life, and his parents mistakenly think that the letter he'd taken of Evan's is actually a suicide note. And that is not a spoiler, that's the premise of the film. That all happens very early on, and then it's about how Evan becomes part of Connor's story despite the fact that they were never actually friends. It is a musical. There is lots of bursting into song, earnestly. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't moved. Not quite as much as Naomi, who basically cried herself inside out next to me for about 2 hours. But it did get me in the feels. It really does look at how difficult an experience high school or secondary school can be, which obviously I'm finding out via my daughter at the minute. The part that social media plays in high school being difficult, how a lot of us are struggling but we don't talk about it. So it does touch on big themes, you know, that feeling of loneliness, of isolation, of, you know, not fitting in, of just wanting to connect with people. I also felt particularly moved by the experiences of the parents. So the mothers of the film, Evan's mum is played by the wonderful Julianne Moore, and Connor's mum is played by the equally wonderful what's her name? Amy Adams, sorry, another wonderful redhead actress. And yeah, them trying to understand their teenage children and help and support them, that also kind of punched me in the feels quite a lot. It also stars Caitlin Dever, who I know from Booksmart as well as other things. She's very good. My only criticism, if I have one, is that the guy they've cast as Evan Hansen, Ben Platt, while he has a beautiful singing voice, which is very necessary for the role, he's 28. And guess what? Guess how old he looks? 28. And he's supposed to be 17, 18. And I know this isn't new in Hollywood, and there was all the jokes about the cast of Dawson's Creek, but I just kept looking and thinking, you look like you're pushing 30. And the other teenagers in this look like teenagers. Some of them might be early 20s, but 28? Come on, mate. So yeah, that's my only niggle. That said, like I say, lovely voice, very powerful story, songs are incredible. I did feel very moved by it, and yeah, now I'm going to have a cup of tea and possibly do some more crying. But if you like musicals, give it a bash. It was quite intense, like I say, it was moving, but the performances were great. There is humour in it as well, and it's definitely worth a watch. I would also love to see it on the West End stage. That's it. Thank you for listening and watching. Like and subscribe the channel, all that jazz. Katie out.